Hello everyone, Dibz here, and welcome back to Overwatch Overseer, a series where I analyze a gameplay submitted by you guys, the viewers, and I try to analyze what could have been done better and what you did well in the game. Today we're going to be looking at some Tracer gameplay on Ilios of someone named Taiwan NO2, who's currently in plat. Going to be trying to reach that diamond, and yeah, let's see what we can do to help. It's going to be the first map on Well. I feel like Tracer is pretty good on this map, and I think Tracer is going to be played throughout the entirety. I'm not too sure, but we'll see how it goes. So let's get started. Okay, I do agree that dive is not as good on this map, but usually it's a Hog Orisa. Hog Orisa is usually pretty good on this map. Even though you do play Hog Orisa, you can still definitely play Tracer. But one thing I want to note on first is that I like the fact that you're trying to get high ground here. A lot of the times people go towards the left to try to get a good flank around, but you're utilizing the high ground on the right side because not only is Pharah used all the time, it allows you to kind of get on the Widow if they have a Widow pick. So it's a really good reason for you to take this high ground. Okay. Alright, so I did say that I like you getting the high ground, but I feel like you gave it up a little bit too early. So you did see that they had a pharmacy. You kind of poked her at her a little bit to try to distract her, which is good. But you didn't really see her paying attention to you. You didn't really know if she was starting to shoot at you, which is okay. If she's not really paying attention to you, that's fine, because that allows you to keep this high ground. Now, I feel like you did give this high ground a little bit too early. You give it up. You jump down basically to engage an Orisa and a Hog. That's basically their front line. You're not going to be able to do much against them. What I would do is kind of try to figure out what they have, what else they have in the back line. They're going to come up into this choke area, and it could either be like a Soldier, a McCree, Anna, Mercy, Zen. You're not entirely sure yet. You can push tab and try to see what they got. But then, yeah, I would wait until you can get into a better position, or wait until you see a target that's able to be killed before you jump down. Now, another better thing that you could have done instead of giving up high ground is to jump towards the right. There's another high ground towards your right, where it allows you to basically blink over right here, this pole. You can jump from here, blink up to the pole, and you're on the stairs, and then you can go from behind and pick up whoever is in the back line. That's also a really good position. That's probably better than giving up the high ground here, because getting high ground is always the best. It allows you to get a better scout, allows you to jump on the people, allows you a better escape as well. So I would say just don't drop down too early. There was no reason for you to drop down here. You can't kill an Orisa, you can't kill a Hog, and right now you're trying to go all the way to the backside, and you had to use a little bit more time to get to the background or backline, right? So if you blink to the top, you would have been on top of these stairs right here, and you could have just stayed up there, and you could have still tried to shoot the Pharah if she was a little bit low, and also you can just jump on anybody from the high ground instead of coming from here. Okay, so a little bit on target prioritization right there. If you see a fortified Orisa, I would only try to kill her if she's really low. The thing is, a fortified Orisa takes a lot of damage away from you. She has a lot of damage reduction, and also not only that, you have a Hog here, and killing a Hog or dealing damage to a Hog is probably the best bet for you, because you can get more ult charge from it, and also he's the only one that can really deal with you at the moment. The rest is pretty much just going to ignore you, and if you shoot into her, you're not going to get a lot of ult charge. You're not going to deal a lot of damage. So try to deal damage to somebody who doesn't have damage mitigation at the moment, which is the Hog, and he's basically right next to you, so you can get a full clip into his head, get a really good ult charge, and then yeah, you won't be able to kill the Orisa here. Yeah, I think if you were focusing the Hog, he would have been ending up like at around 70% ult charge at this moment if you got a full clip into him, which would be nice. Okay, I would have... that's close. Holy crap, okay, that was really close. Very close. Got kind of lucky that she didn't really see you the first time. That would have been really bad news. Really bad news. Alright, so you also gave up high ground once again. So one of the best things that you could do against a Pharah, I think, is to keep the high ground. Because if you keep the high ground as Pharah, or as a Tracer against the Pharah, if she ever dips down to like your height, which is around this area, which is still kind of low, it's not that high. I mean, a lot of the good Pharahs would fly up in the air and try to be as high as they can get. But then of course a Widow would be able to pick them off. But if you kind of like stay up here for a little bit, she is kind of pressured to stay up there, and she can't really like freely just rain on your team. Not only that, you don't really have to give up this high ground here, right? She can spam at this door, she can spam at that door, but if you stay around this area, you're not going to take any damage. And once your team is regrouped to engage, you can just blink over to the high ground again, or to this other high ground, and just try to engage from the high ground. You don't really have to drop down here, because right here, you're kind of like, you're not really doing much at this moment. You're staying in the front line, which is not what you want to be doing. And going in the front is really dangerous as well. because it's like you have a Pharah. They have a spam team. They have a Roadhog, they have a Pharah, and they have a McCree. And your Orisa shield is right here. They're going to be spamming it most of the time. So if you stand next to the shield, and if you try to just walk past it, a lot of the damage or a lot of the spam is going to hit you on the way out. So since you already gave up high ground, I would say just grab the health pack right here. You grab this health pack, right? And then just keep going that way. So don't go here. Go here, and then just keep going. Just keep going forward. Just keep going straight. All the way. Flank around to the left side. Go towards the inner side. And don't go here. This is a really bad area for you to go through, because you're gonna take a lot of damage. There's a spam right there. You got hit by a random Pharah rocket. It's probably not aimed at you. And yeah, that's why whenever there's a really big spam comp on the enemy team, don't push to the front. Don't push to the front, especially if your team isn't running dive. If your team is running dive, maybe you'd be able to push into the front, because then the monkey and the diva can eat all the damage coming through. But you have a hog and a Orisa, and they're not gonna be able to block as much damage for you, or eat it at least. So, but also quick note here as well. You got the health pack, you ended up going here, you were pretty low from the damage from the Pharah, and you got this health pack right here, and you're 114, and you see a McCree and you see a Mercy, and they're not really looking at you right now. As you can see, you're at 114 health. One shot from the McCree, if it's a headshot, you'll die. So you always want to be thinking about who you're going against. Like if you're going against the McCree, his max damage is 140 for the headshot. If you're going against a Junkrat, you can take 120 damage instantly, right? So you always want to be above that one shot potential. If you're going against a Junkrat, you always want to be at 120 life or more, because you don't want to die from a random grenade, right? So right here, instead of engaging the McCree and the Mercy right away, I would rather just go for the health pack first. Go for the mini in the room on your left first, and then come back and engage when you're at full health, because you have 3 blinks and you have a recall. You have more than enough to kind of like get around, right? You're not really starving for your cooldowns. And he isn't even shooting at you yet. So you did dodge the flash. But you ended up not getting that health pack. I think somebody healed you. Yeah, you missed the health pack. You dodged the flash really well, but I think you should have just tried to get the health pack. I think that's what you were trying to do. You're trying to get the health pack while blinking and dodging the flash, but you just didn't go far enough. I would say pay attention a little bit more, but you ended up getting healed, which is lucky, and you dodged the hook, which is nice. Got a nice kill, and you used a recall, and you ended up dropping into the hole. Happens sometimes. It happens sometimes, and I know the feeling when it happens. It's just like, oh gosh, I can't believe I did that, right? Just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, reset, be like, okay, don't do that again. Calm down a little bit. Kind of rest yourself. I feel like there's like a panic blink, you know what I mean? Like if you take deep breaths, it's really good to kind of calm you down. The more calm you are, the less that'll happen, because you'll be thinking about where you blink, because you reacted to what you saw. That's the reason why you blinked, right? You saw the Mercy going in there, and you're like, okay, I want to get a better angle on the Mercy. And that's the reason why you did it, right? You saw the Mercy, and you're like, oh, okay, I want to get her. But the thing is, though, you kind of just blinked forward, to be honest. But basically, you were just on autopilot right now, and you didn't realize that there was a well right there. So just try not to get into autopilot as much as possible. Right? Autopilot is a really dangerous thing when it comes to Tracer, because you're not really like thinking about the situation and the area of where you're fighting. Because if you autopilot, the kind of stuff will happen a lot. So just get the oxygen flowing into your body. Take a deep breath every time that happens, and you'll be okay for the next fight. Okay, it looks like they're down a Mercy and a Pharmacy. So okay, that's good for you to Christian. Be really aggressive here. Okay, so sticking a hog as well. One of the big no-nos. Never stick a hog if you are not 100% sure that his vape is gone or his self-heal is gone, right? Because if you're not sure if he has a self-heal, there's a chance that he can have it, obviously. If you don't see him use it beforehand, then don't stick him, because if you stick him, right, and he self-heals, not only does he mitigate the damage by 50% when he's healing, he can also use the damage that you did to him to heal himself and also get that ultimate charge. So you're wasting your ultimate for one, which is really bad, and also you're feeding him ult charge, which is healing himself. In both cases, he is also feeding your team ultimate charge, but I would rather not even use a pulse bomb in that situation, because you have like 4 people already on the point trying to kill a Roadhog. It's okay, like in this stressful situation, if it's like a 1v1 situation, always stick the hog after you know for a fact that he used his self-heal. I would just try to willow him down. Once you use the self-heal, then use a pulse bomb. But right here, I don't even really think you need it, because you have like 4 people on the point, and it's really not really needed to do that. Nice dodge. Got a Battle Mercy on your team, apparently. Nice. Good prediction, dude. Yeah, we Valked it a little bit early. Really didn't need to. They were down already. It's kind of a wasted Valk, but it's okay. It looks like your Mercy is literally just trying to like battle. Trying to fight everybody on the enemy team with the pistol. Interesting. So you're staying here, which is kind of interesting. Not a bad position, but I would rather get high ground. Your hog. Interesting. So wait, I'm not entirely sure if you actually knew the McCree was going to be there. But I didn't hear anything. I did not hear the McCree at all. Oh, I heard footsteps. I heard a small amount of footsteps. I think that's what you were waiting for, and it ended up being a McCree, which is good. You kept your distance in case it was like, you know, a McCree or somebody else there, and you're able to get out. Yeah, McCree's still. Oh, okay. He's starting to flash. Yeah, you don't want to go in there, especially with the McCree. Even though he used his flash, there's a Brig. Okay, nice. I like that. I actually like that. Nice kill. So that's really good. I wanna say something about that because it's really important, even though you did well on it. So one thing that you did was you kept your distance against the McCree and the Brig because both can really delete you, right? But right here, not entirely sure if you saw, but you saw that right there. You heard it. The Brig used her stun on the Roadhog, right? And before that, the McCree used his flash on you, but you dodged it. So basically, the Brig has no stun, the McCree has no stun, so it's really safe for you actually to blink in and be really, really aggressive here, right? Because there's nothing that can stop you really. I mean, there is. I mean, if the McCree gets a good headshot on you, yes, it's possible. But even though you have 132 life, it's like he is under a lot of pressure and he had some damage done to him already, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like an even fight. As long as he doesn't really get a good headshot on you, you should be able to try to kill him. He's not being pocketed either, not at the moment. But I feel like, I don't think I remember seeing the Brig use her heal on anybody. In that case, if the Brig actually did use her heal on the McCree at this moment, because I see that the Brig is right here, right? The Brig is able to heal the McCree. If the McCree got back to full from the Orisa, from the Brig heal, then at that point, I would basically just get out of there because for one, if the Brig heals the McCree is going to be able to survive for maybe like 3 or 4 seconds, right? And at that time, McCree is going to be having his flash back up, and also Brig is going to be having her shield bash back up because they use it at the very beginning of each fight. So I know that didn't happen, but if this were to happen, if he were to get healed, I would say back out right away because it's really unsafe to be here. But then you ended up getting that kill, which is really, really good. I kind of like to go over every situation on like if this happened, then if this happened, etc., etc., etc. Because in any situation, that Brig should have healed. That Brig should have healed the McCree. She should have. I don't think she ever used the self heal on anybody. There was nobody to use the heal on. There was nobody else to use the heal on, and she can't use it on herself, right? So I feel like it should have happened. But luckily, it didn't happen for you or to you. Nice, focus on the Orisa. She's weak, and you stuck a hog again, right when he vaped. Ended up getting a kill though. You're at 33 health though. You gotta be careful. Gotta be really careful. A few things here. So you ended up getting a stick on the hog, which is not so great because he did huff and puff, which is okay. Oh yeah, he just did. Okay. Yeah, he just did. So that's fine. Getting a stick on him, but I would rather just stick the Orisa, to be honest, to ensure the kill, right? I mean, the thing is, you could just wait. So if you're playing the long game, you could try to stick the hog, get him really low because you knew that he vaped, and then after that come back, kill the Orisa, and then try to finish off the hog. But that's a lot to do on your own. You know what I mean? That's a lot to do on your own. Your team is already down 3. If you did kill these 2, you might be able to even it up, but it's already, I feel like it's a lost fight because then they have a Brig on their team that's alive, and they have a Pharah that's alive still. Right. So against the Pharah and also against a Brig, you're not going to be able to do much against that, even if you do kill off these 2 tanks, right? So it's good that you killed the Orisa. Yes, you used the post bomb to get the hog low, but you got to watch your life though. Your life is at 33. One shot from the hog and you're dead. You don't have a recall. I'd rather just blink backwards here. Blink backwards into the mini, grab the health, and then maybe just try to see what you can do. Try to annoy them, and don't try to really engage because of the fact that you're really low and there's a hog still, and there's a Pharah still, and there is a Brig on the point. Yeah, you won't be able to kill the hog before he kills you because you're at 33. So aside from that, I think I saw a little beam come out from the Mercy. So the Mercy was actually healing the Roadhog. So since you're already in this situation, I would rather not be in this situation because you're one shot. I think the best thing that you could have done instead of trying to kill the Roadhog would be try to kill the Mercy, because I think there's a little tiny beam of light right here. Right there. You saw that beam right there pop out. That means the Mercy is next to you. In this case, it would be better for you to try to aim for the Mercy and try to like whittle her down or try to kill her when she gets the res off. Because the thing is, you did use your ultimate on the Roadhog. Like a lot of the times it's I feel like it's still a waste to use it on a Roadhog, even after he vapes, unless it's like a 1v1 situation. Because a lot of the times, if it's like two to three people, you're not going to be able to kill the Roadhog when other people are shooting at you, right? Especially when you're this low, you're not going to be able to win the fight most likely. So it's kind of a waste. I mean, after the fact, of course, this would have been a good idea to use your pulse to save your pulse, because you could have just pulsed the Mercy, who was rezzing right next to you, right? The Mercy ended up getting the AORUS right here. If you had your pulse, instead of using it on the Roadhog, then I think it would have been better for you to use it on the Mercy. A lot of the times it's like, of course, hindsight, right? But I usually try to stay away from sticking a Roadhog unless he's in the middle of like a lot of people. Usually it's not worth it, because a lot of the times, you know, he can get away, he can hide, and you can just self-heal, and he has a lot of life, right? You're not going to be able to kill him really fast. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. So if you can, I would say just don't stick a hog, or try to stay away from it, unless he's in a really, really big group. Or if you're 1v1ing him, or maybe 1v2ing, and then you basically have to kill him in order to win the point or to capture the point. But if it's like a half-lost fight, it's usually not worth it. Okay. I would rather go high ground again, but I like that you're avoiding the McCree. Okay, good. I like that you didn't use your recall, because you didn't really have to. Saving your recall for the much needed moments. Nice. And also the Mercy rezzing again. Yeah, you heard her use her Valk as well, right? So whenever a Mercy uses her Valk, a lot of the times it's going to be like the idea or the thought process of the Mercy when she uses her Valk is like, okay, if a target dies, I'm going to res just because I get self-heal, and also because of the fact that I can get, you know, to one place to the other very, very quickly. So if you ever hear a Mercy Valk, always be prepared to guard a body, because most likely than not, if a target dies, she's going to try to res that target as soon as possible. Right there, you heard the you heard it, right? You heard the Mercy res, or you heard the Mercy use her Valk, right? So right when you killed the AORUS, you heard her use her Valk, so most likely than not, she's like right above you, and she's just gonna try to res the AORUS that you just killed, right? Because there's nobody else that really died except for the Pharah right now. But you can hear her trying to res, right? And she's right next to you. So I feel like try to pay a little bit more attention to the Mercy. The Mercy is your prime target to kill. The thing is, it's hard because they have a Pharah, right? So if they have a Pharah, the Mercy can fly in the air. So, but there's really nobody else that you can really, you know, secure a kill on. Pharah's always going to be in the air. You can kill the McCree, possibly, but as killing a support, you can't kill the Brig as easily. So you should always try to keep in mind where the Mercy is. She shouldn't be your prime target if she's up in the air flying with pharmacy all the time, but you should always keep track of where she is. If you can like keep that in the back of your mind, okay, she's over here, she's next to Pharah, or she's on the ground now. Once she's on the ground, boom, that's when you should be like, okay, I gotta get on the Mercy right away. It's always this kind of like a cat and mouse thing. Like when she's on the ground, that's when you have to like, okay, get on her. If she's up in the air, kind of leave her alone, or trickle at her, or tickle her a little bit if you can, to kind of like stop her from self-healing. Right? There's a lot of different things that you need to be doing when it comes to pharmacy. That's what I feel like. But her getting free raises like that is something that you don't really want her to do. You don't want her to get free raises like that. She was basically right on top of you, and I think it could have one-clipped her. Definitely could have one-clipped her. Alright, so aside from the Mercy getting the res on the AORUS, I feel like when you're up this close to a target, especially if it's a tank, I think you need to aim a little bit higher when it comes to your shots, because right here, you're basically shooting into the AORUS's body. And if it's like if it was a normal target, like if it was a Tracer or if it was a McCree, that would be head level, right? I think you're used to shooting at that level when it comes to smaller heroes. But if you're really close and you end up going against a tank, I feel like you should be able to aim a little bit higher and get those headshots, because it's free headshots right here. Now, you ended up doing a little bit of a jump to get those headshots, but if you're this close, just aim a little bit higher. I know it's a little bit hard because it's like if you're closer to a target, your crosshair should be going up naturally. Right? If you're farther away, your crosshair should be going a little bit down naturally because you're farther away and you want to get those next shots. But at this point, if you're this close, just try to aim directly at the head. Right here, you can literally aim directly at the head and all of your shots will go into it, because that's a huge head at this distance. Right? You can empty out in full clip and it'll be all headshots. And you probably be able to bring it down a lot faster. Yeah, there was a lot of time here that you were just chilling here. Just reposition yourself, get into a better position. It is fine for you to be here, I guess. It's okay, it's not bad. But I always like high ground, especially if they have a Pharah. Yeah, so I'm assuming you're listening here to what they have. Nice, nice. Okay, not shooting at the Brig first, which is good. right? You don't want the attention of the Brig a lot of the times. I mean, it's good to sometimes get the attention of the Brig and make her focus on you, because if you get the attention of the Brig and she chases you and she's basically just trying to 1v1 you, and she's not healing for her team or she's not doing any damage, then that's really good, because then they're down to support basically, and she's not, the whole team's not getting armor from her. But as long as you keep her at bay with you and she's not paying attention to the rest of her team, and you don't die, obviously. You don't want to die against the Brig, so I guess it's good for you to be a little bit safe here to try not get her attention. But I like the fact that you're holding back with that. But right here, you did blink a little bit too close to the Mercy, I think. You ended up being a little bit too close. Now, it's really good for you to blink close when it comes to the AORUS, because she is a really big target, right? And her headshot box is really big. Not only that, she doesn't have any really big movement ability. She has Fortify, but that's about it. She can't get away from you. And you can easily just like track her pretty close with her big body. But when it comes to Mercy, she's a lot harder. She's skinnier, and also she can use Guardian Angel to fly around. So I feel like if you are trying to kill a Mercy, don't try to get that close to her unless she's rezzing. The only time you want to get this close to her is when she's rezzing, because then it's easy for you to get the headshots. But at this moment, she can go left, right, left, right, left, right, and it's going to be impossible for you to try to track. So I think right here, it would be better for you to just walk up just a little bit more before you start shooting. Right? I would say walk up for maybe about 1 more second, like be right here, and then start shooting at her. And then when she starts the Guardian Angel, then try to chase her as the Guardian Angel goes. Getting too close to a Mercy is a little difficult, because like she can just keep going just back and forth, dodge, 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 right? And it's really annoying to deal with. So, and I say that you're focused on the Mercy once again, but I know that Mercy is your #1 priority target. But if there is a sleeping target, you see the Z's, right? I think you were too focused on a Mercy. You see the beam, you see the Mercy, but you missed the Z's. If there is a sleeping target, especially if it's like a 200 HP target, you can one-clip the target. Basically, just aim at the head, and then slowly as they get up, just try to follow the head and raise your crosshair. Follow it, and you'll be able to one-clip the target. I feel like prioritizing sleeping targets is more important than trying to kill a Mercy, because the Mercy can still get away from me, but a sleeping target is pretty much a free kill. Pretty much a free kill. So prioritize sleeping targets as much as you can. Always prioritize sleeping targets before a Mercy. Nice dodge. Okay, nice. So I like that you dodged, right? You got out of there because the McCree, even though he dodged his flash, he can still one-shot you because you were at 80 health, right? You took 1 hit, and he was being pocketed by the Mercy. So most likely than not, he's going to be able to get a headshot on you before you can finish him off, because he's getting healed. Right? So good choice, getting the health back. Trying to contest the point. Brig is ignoring you, which is okay. Ooh, you guys are giving up the point. Yeah, you guys were giving up the point, not giving up, but you guys lost the point right there. So in this case, the McCree is kind of like watching out for you, right? He is going back and forth, and he's kind of predicting you to kind of go towards the back. But right now, your team isn't really contesting the point. I feel like it's more important for you as Tracer. You should always try to contest the point as long as possible. That's basically your job aside from killing the healers when it comes to King of the Hill or 2CP, right? Since your team is off the point right now, you are the only person that's alive. You have two to three blinks coming up, and also you have recall. So you should be able to survive on the point pretty long. At least just touch it, back it off, touch it, get off, touch it, get off, and wait for your team to come back and contest, because this is the last fight. Right? You're at 86% and they're at 99. If they retake it, it goes into overtime, and you're kind of screwed. You're going to have to keep contesting overtime, right? In this case, I would rather just not let it get to overtime first. Try to stall as long as you can before that happens. That's more important than trying to kill the McCree, because if you kill the McCree and it goes to overtime, sure, they're down 1, but it's still you against 5 other people, and it's overtime. That means your team is going to be getting worse spawns, and you're going to be dealing with other people who are, trying to kill you and focus you since it's overtime. So I'd rather just like go to the side right here, try to stall a little bit, maybe blink around to the side, use a recall, and wait for your team to recontest. And once your team recontests, then you can just kind of go around to the back and try to get as many kills as you can. So you lost the point here, recalled the flash, which is good, and you didn't camp the health pack. So it was a good dodge though. It's a really good dodge right there. So it's you versus the McCree. McCree doesn't have his flash. Really good for you to get up close. He can one-shot you, basically, if he gives you a headshot and then he melees you if you're close range. But if you are on the health pack, it is completely fine, right? Every time you're going against a target, always try to sit on the health pack as much as possible if you guys are fighting around it. Because the thing is, if you deal damage to him right now, or he is pretty low already, he can take the health pack away from you. But the thing is that you want to be able to steal the health pack as much as possible. So I'll blink right now onto the health pack. So if he does hit you, right, then you will be able to take the health pack and he can't use it. Not only that, if you blink onto the health pack, you can kind of guess where he's going to be moving to, right? So let's say if you were right here, right? You see him, he's rolling in, and you blink to the health pack right now, right? You know for a fact that if you're on the health pack, he is going to be coming straight at you because you are on the health pack. If you're on the health pack, he's just going to be walking straight into you. If he's doing that, then all you got to do is just aim at a straight line and just like, it'll be really easy target. He'll be an easy person to kill because he's moving in a straight line towards you. But then if he doesn't, if he backs off and he shoots you, well then okay, you get the health pack. So A, it makes it easier for you to predict where he's moving and you get a lot of headshots, or B, you take the health pack. So it's like, it's a win-win situation for you to always fight on the health pack no matter what. Because in general, you know, you're securing your life. You're basically making it so that they can't take it, and you're taking away their life in the long run, if that makes any sense. All right, but right here he took it, and you weren't able to take it. I think if you were able to take the health pack, you could have gone full health, and maybe the fight would have lasted a little bit longer. Probably would have been able to kill him, and then maybe contest. But I feel like your team, you guys were already down a lot at that point. But in that situation, just for the 1v1 situation, whenever you're going against somebody on a health pack or next to a health pack, just camp the health pack. Just stay on it. Right? Unless, of course, it's like there's a trap on it. If there's a trap on it, then of course, don't do it. But most of the time, you always want to just like try to take it away from them, and then maybe you can back up again and then re-engage. I feel like that's the best thing for you to do. All right, we're playing on Lighthouse. It looks like your team is running dive tanks. You got Mercy and you got Ana. It's kind of a weird comp to run because you guys don't have a defensive ult. A Genji would be really, really bad against your team, or really good against your team, since you guys don't have one. But we'll see. I feel like it's kind of a hybrid. It's kind of a weird hybrid. You guys are running three people that are dive, and three heroes that are not dive. It's not a really complementary comp, but well, comp does start to matter a little bit once you hit platinum and diamond, because that's when the coordination, right, starts to come in synergy. But I feel like it should still be okay, depending on what they have. They have a Pharah. So before all of the analysis on comp, I feel like the first thing that you need to do is go high ground, because a lot of the times they're gonna have a Pharah. Not a lot of times, but you saw that they were playing Pharah and they didn't swap off the Pharah. They played Pharmacy the entire time on the last map on Will. Not only is it really good for you to get high ground against the Pharah, it's just really good for you to get high ground on this map, right? So I would say don't try to go down here. Don't try not to go down in the middle unless your team is like running full dive. If your team is running full dive and you guys are speeding through and trying to get in, then it's okay for you to push in with your team. But if your team is kind of running like hybrid, half-half, and your Mercy is on, like you have a Mercy who can get high ground, then you want to be able to try to get high ground as much as possible. It allows you to deal with other people who are high ground, and allows you to deal with people who are on Pharah, if they have one. So instead of going here, I would try to go to the stairs right here. Try going to the stairs right here. On the stairs onto the right. Go to this high ground. Allows you to scout the enemy team, see what they got, and allows you to jump down onto the enemy team and then recall back up to high ground if you need to. So you see a Hammond, they got a Pharmacy, and a Monkey, Lucio. Do they have a McCree still? They do have a McCree. Yeah, they have a McCree on high ground. You guys did end up getting a kill on the Lucio, but just think about it. Just think about it. If you had high ground right there, right? Basically, if you were on your side of the high ground and they had a McCree here, you could basically just dive with the Monkey, right? You could dive with the Monkey and basically get high ground immediately and try to take him out, right? You can basically do it from there, or there's another high ground jump that you can do on the side right here. There's this little sign. You can jump on the sign, you can jump on a little balcony, and you can jump up from here. That's another jump that you can actually do to get the high ground, if you see anybody holding high ground. So, I mean, if you do plan to get the high ground from this direction, sure, but I feel like it's better for you to do it on the other side, because it could be really, really crowded here, and sometimes you may not even be able to jump, right? So now, aside from the high ground, I feel like whenever you're running dive, whenever you're running Monkey/Diva, I think it's really important for you as Tracer, especially, to dive the same targets, or at least to focus the same targets. So right here, you saw the Lucio, right? I think it's better for you to focus the Lucio, because he's alone. There's nobody here to really support him, and your Monkey is up here with you, right? Your Monkey's right here. So it's a Monkey and a Tracer versus a Lucio. I feel like the best thing for you to do is to just kind of focus them, right? Kind of ignore them, and you just looked at the McCree. Your Monkey did end up, killing the Lucio, but it's like if they had a Mercy come back to peel, or if they had a Brig to heal him, then it would have been a really bad thing for you. Nice, nice. A little bit close, but you ended up taking a half-life. Trying to keep your distance again. Okay. Yeah, so I do agree that you were doing pretty good at picking on the Mercy. She's having a lot of trouble. She's trying to fly around, trying to avoid you. You're annoying her, that's for sure. But your team isn't really diving her at the same time. That's what makes it really hard to play Tracer against Pharmacy if your team isn't running full dive. Because if you're not doing callouts to, I mean, you are doing callouts. I just heard you call out the Mercy. But if you feel like your team isn't concentrating on the Mercy, then a lot of the times it's better for you to kind of like focus on other targets that are killable, right? So there's a McCree here that's killable, and there's also the Lucio just died. So you got the Lucio, and also I feel like if you can't kill the Mercy, if you're having trouble, try to go for the McCree. But the thing is, if you had high ground here, you can basically just try to jump on high ground, tickle her, or try to get her from that level, and it'd be really good for you. So high ground is always really important, in my opinion, as much as possible, even as Tracer. You know, Tracer has the most use for high ground, in my opinion. So, but also I did notice that you're jumping a lot. You're jumping a lot. Like there's nobody really shooting you, and you're jumping.
What's too low?
So you jump. So the only time that I would really advise jumping is if you're going against the McCree and he has a flash, right? Because if he has a flash, right, and you jump and you get flashed in the air, you're gonna be jumping and then you get flashed and you're gonna continue moving in that direction. So it's hard for you to get flashed or hard for you to get one shot after you get flashed because he has to follow you, right? That's better than you just sitting still or just sitting still after being flashed. Because if you get flashed and you're on the ground, you sit there and it's an easy headshot. But if you're in the air, then it's good for you, right? Because he has to aim. But if you're not getting shot at and if you're going against like targets like Hammond or somebody that's not as dangerous, when you jump a lot, it makes you inaccurate unless you're really used to like changing your crosshair. Because whenever you jump, your crosshair will also level with you. So when you jump, you have to correct yourself with your crosshair, which makes it so that you're always constantly going up and down with your crosshair. And that's not as easy. It's not as easy to be accurate with that than just staying on the ground and just like 80-80 and then just like, you know, just shooting at head level, right? It's much better because right here, you missed a lot right there, I feel like. And jumping, because then when you jump, you're kind of like trying to correct yourself. And by the time you try to correct yourself, you're like, oh crap, he's moving this way, right? So there's a lot of movement on the Hammond and also you're trying to correct yourself at the same time. So it's really hard for you to kind of like jump and aim all the time. It's really not necessary for you to keep jumping. So try not to jump as much. Try not to jump as much, especially when you're going against Pharah, right? Because if you jump against Pharah or if you jump against any projectile targets or any snipers, it's easy for you to get predicted, right? If you jump, they're like, okay, he's gonna end up here when he jumps, so I can just aim here and he's just gonna die. Right? So don't jump against projectile targets, that's for sure. You ended up not getting high ground again. I feel like getting high ground is... I'm gonna keep saying that, but yeah. Nice, got the health pack. Stole the health pack, but I'm glad you took the health pack. That's really good. He's half-life, right? You got hit, you got the health pack, but you're at 100 life. Each shot from Hanzo, it will do 120 if you are, if it's full charge. The thing is, you are one shot compared to him, and he's half-life. So you gotta compare. Is it easier for him to get a single shot on you? Or is it easier for you to take out half of his life? It's definitely easier for him to just like aim around your body and get you because you're one shot, right? So you don't want to be engaging at this point. Either way, even if you did get that sticky, it's still a really dangerous situation because he doesn't have to do much to kill you, right? He doesn't have to do much. While you have to do a lot more to try to kill him. It's really not worth it for you to try to engage the Hanzo. It's kind of like McCree, right? McCree, if you're going against a McCree, if you have less than 70 life, then don't engage him because he can one-shot you, right? GS a little bit too aggressive here, I think. So when the Pharah is ulting, she kills like two of your teammates. Well, your team is pretty much already down, and the Pharah is ulting. You don't really need to be here. You don't really need to be here because you can't kill the Pharah. You only have one blink. You're about to get two, but you don't want to be blinking in right next to her because she's kind of like turning towards you already. The only time that I would recommend to try to kill a Pharah if she is ulting is if she is kind of like a little bit higher and busy with other people. But if you didn't engage here, or if you weren't here, you could have just blinked backwards, you could have just blinked backwards, in my opinion, and get out of here, because you took a lot of damage here, up to 97, and you're recalled. So you use the recall instead of using another blink. A lot of the times, you would rather use blinks to get out of there, but in order to do so, you don't want to put yourself in that kind of situation. Right? Yeah, your teammate's back. That's good. You ended up losing a teammate, which was probably really tilting, I think, right? But it's okay. Your teammate's back, and the Hanzo is a little bit pushed up. He is pushed up, so it's a really good thing for you to kind of like be here and to kind of like scout it out. But I definitely still would have. I mean, it's kind of weird for him to be this far up. It's kind of weird for him to be this far up and not on high ground. I guess it's because he likes to just aim down a hall, and it'll be easier for him to get a pick. But if he's here, you're taking advantage of the fact that he's up here, right? And you almost got that one clip and a melee, but you ended up missing it right here. You meleeed right here, and then it didn't end up killing him. The thing is, whenever you melee, it has a range of effect. So just imagine this. So you have one person here, and you have another target here. If you melee and you hit one target and you swipe really quickly, you can hit two people with your melee. It has a range of activation. If you spin around, so let's say you're a tracer here, and you have 6 people around you. If you quick melee one and you spin around fast enough and do a 360, you can hit all 6 people. You can actually hit all 6 people with one melee. You can hit multiple people with it. So this means whenever you do a blink melee, you should try to always make it a habit so that in case you over blink, the best thing for you to do is to not over blink and melee. But the best thing for you to do is if you're not sure if you're going to over blink, you melee right as you blink and then you turn around. So that in case the target is anywhere within that range that you turn to, it will connect with it, right? So right here, if you blinked and you swiped really, really quickly, you would be able to connect it with him if he's still behind you, right? So you were like right here. If you turned around, it would have actually still hit him because he kept walking forward a little bit. So try to make it a habit, right? So when you're trying to one clip and then blink melee, turn around. Doesn't matter whether that target's in front of you, because if that target is in front of you when you melee, the melee will connect, right? And it will kill him. If the target is behind you or within that range, it will kill that target as well. Right? So there's a lot of different things that that's what I normally like to do. So whenever you see me do a quick melee, right? Every time you see me do it, I always melee and then I do like a weird spaz. Right? I always spin around my camera because, well, just in case, you know, there's another person there, or in case I miss it, it will connect, whether I overblink or if I miss the blink. He ends up getting away, which is unfortunate. He's like 1 HP. Ooh. Alright, so right there, you don't need a recall. I think you're using your recalls a lot. Just a little bit too much, I think. So you did get hit right here. Boom, 91, right? You do have a blink. You can just back up. You can back up. Just blink away. If you blink away, then the Pharah is going to have trouble, you know, hitting you. And you don't have to recall. Because whenever you recall, you're going to recall back into a more dangerous place, right? So you're still at the same place where you started, and you don't want to be in this room. You don't want to be in this room. Yeah, gotta get out. Definitely gotta get out of there. You don't want to be in a close place with like tanks. Diva, or not with Diva, Brig, Monkey. Monkey was there, he dropped the bubble, so there's no way for you to get out or to stay there and fight. It'd be better for you to just kind of get out of there. I know you're trying to annoy the Brig, trying to make her focus you. Nice, you ended up getting her low. I think she's gonna die here. She should die, yeah. Nice. Okay, that's good. Good. Nice, so you were keeping the Brig really busy. Like she was kind of ignoring you, but you made her keep her shield up, and she didn't really do anything for her team at that moment. Which is good. But right here, I think, yeah, you're also a little bit close right here. One more time. You got distracted by Monkey just a little bit, but right here, if you get really close to a Pharah, right here, she can just turn to you. If she turns to you and she melees you, that's 120 plus an extra 30 damage. Right? She can insta-kill you, basically. Right here. If she shot at you and meleeed you, you would have died. So don't get too close to a Pharah. Not too close. I think right here is perfect. Right here. I think this is the perfect distance right here. You can literally just stay here, and then you can just one clip her, or just empty as many bullets as you can into her, right? It's easier for you to track because you're in medium range, right? And also you're not as much in danger of getting a random shot on you, because if you're this close, if she just turns in your general direction, she's shooting a rocket, and the rocket has a huge hitbox, right? There's a huge chance it's gonna hit you. So don't try to be this close to a Pharah. It's very dangerous. It's kind of like it's like a Hanzo, right? If you're this close to a Hanzo, he's just gonna aim in your general direction and you can get a headshot, right? Don't be too close. Not too close. Ooh, Hammond. Not really good to go against the Hammond. Even if the Hammond or even if the Hanzo didn't kill you, like, first of all, you have your post bomb already, right? And your team already won the fight. If your team already won the fight and your team isn't with you, because right now you're not getting any support from your team. I think they're all on the point, from what I recall. Yeah, they were on the point dealing with the Monkey, and then they push up. Your team didn't push up with you. So okay, so this is the first time going against the Hammond that I talked about. If you're going against the Hammond as Tracer, in a 1v1 situation, you're not going to be able to kill a Hammond because he has a ton of life. He has a ton of life, and not only that, he's super fast. He's actually faster than Tracer. So if you're going to try to 1v1 a Hammond, if he ever feels like he's getting low and is going to die, he's just going to swing and get out of there. You can't actually chase him. You can chase him for a little bit. But after a few seconds, he's going to start outrunning you, and you're not going to be able to keep up with him. Right? Your first 3 blinks you can keep up, but after your cooldowns start happening, or if you have to start waiting for your blinks, he's just going to outrun you like crazy. So I wouldn't waste my time with a Hammond. I wouldn't waste my time with a Hammond if you are 1v1ing him. You know what I mean? Like the only time that you would want to go against the Hammond is if your team is with you and your entire team is like, focusing him down. But you're 1v1ing him, and also you don't have your ult, or you already have your ult. So there's really no point for you to kind of try to deal with him. You're feeding the ult charge for their healers because he has a lot of life, and you're not going to kill him. He's just going to go back to his team and get healed. And you're not gaining ult charge. So you're just basically wasting your time here. If the Hanzo wasn't even there. I mean, like a lot of times you're dealing with one target and the Hanzo just comes from the side, right? It's kind of like that in McCree. There was no notification of him being there. There's no callouts. You didn't hear him. He didn't make any sound. So that's just kind of positioning on his part and your part. Oh, dude, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that Lucio booped. You were about to stick the Mercy, but the Lucio booped her away from you. So you're so close to killing the Mercy, and you actually got her. Nice. So you did kill the Mercy, but I think you could have killed her a lot faster. There is this thing when it comes to Mercy called Guardian Angel, right? So Guardian Angel, she likes to fly to her team, and basically it doesn't matter well, there's a pretty far distance, but she can fly in a straight line to her team, right? And there is always this type of movement that the Mercy has when she's about to do it. A lot of the times she is kind of like, she has her staff out and she is looking behind you a lot of the times, or she's looking in another direction. If she's looking in another direction and jumping and jumping and jumping, most likely than not, she's going to Guardian Angel. So what you want to do is use this to your advantage. Instead of just trying to chase the Mercy, because right here, if you keep chasing the Mercy back and forth, right? She is going to Guardian Angel away from you. So like that, she jumped, right? She jumped, Guardian Angel. Guardian Angel, right? Jump, 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 Guardian Angel, right? They always jump, 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 Guardian Angel, jump, 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 jump. So whenever they keep jumping and jumping, what you want to do is keep a medium distance. Keep a medium distance. So let's, for example, right here, right? So she got booped right after you miss your pulse bomb, or right as you miss your pulse bomb, right here, right? She is Guardian Angeling right here. So instead of trying to get closer to her and when she's Guardian Angel, what you want to do is back up with her, right? So this is you. This is you as a Tracer, and this is her. And she's Guardian Angeling towards you. If you run towards her while she's Guardian Angeling, you're closing the distance very, very fast, which is not the best, because then it's going to be hard because she's just going to fly over you, and then you're going to have to turn around, and then after that, then you have to chase her towards the Guardian Angel target, right? So the best thing for you to do is, if you realize that she's about the Guardian Angel, you start backing up. So what happens if this is you, that's Tracer, and this is Mercy, she Guardian Angels towards you, and you back up with her, right? So instead of going like this, what happens is that she Guardian Angels very fast, but then you're backing up with her, right? And you see her in your vision basically a lot slower, right? You see her going like that, and you can just aim a lot better like that. You can basically predict her movement, right? Instead of just going really like sandwiching into her, then it's gonna be really hard because you gotta flick really fast. What you should do, back up a little bit, right? Change your direction, start going backwards instead of turning around like that. Like this, right here. When she's about the Guardian Angel, just start backing up. So then you can just shoot her like that. Make it smooth. Because if she ever gets past you, it's really hard for you to kill her, right? So like right here. I would say stay here. Just sit here. Wait until she Guardian Angels. Right as she Guardian Angels, back up and just aim at her. Because if you get too close, right, she's just gonna fly away from you. Boop. Get away. And finally you kill her. So yeah, that's the kind of a trick that I like to do. It works very, very well. It works very well if you can predict where the Mercy, because I would say almost all Mercies do this, because Guardian Angel is their only way of escape, so there's nothing else they can do. However, if they start pulling out their pistol and they start shooting at you, then most likely than not, they're not going to Guardian Angel unless they're weak, right? If they start fighting you, then it's okay for you to kind of get close to them. But if they have their staff out and just like flying around, then just try to practice that. Try to make it so that she flies into you, but at a slower rate instead of too fast, because it's really hard for you to track her if she's flying right into you and you're going straight towards her.
You make it make sense.
Oh, I'm too deep. I'm too deep, team. I'm loose.
But also there's a jump here. There's a jump here. So right after you kill the Mercy, you see these little telescope things. You can actually jump on these, and then you can jump through the hole. You can jump on the telescopes, and then blink through this hole again. Jump on that, and you can blink in if you want to get to the point faster, instead of going all the way around to the backside. Because you use 2 blinks instead of 1 to get out to the point. And there was also another wasted blink right there. There was no point for you to blink here. You wanted to get really close to the Winston, but you're down cooldowns already. You only have 1 blink, right? You have 1 blink and a recall. It's not really wise of you to kind of like waste it just to get closer to the Winston, especially when your McCree is here. Your McCree is basically here just waiting. So if you kind of like let the monkey come in and he flashes him, then you can just like jump on him afterwards. You don't want to get that close to a tank. You don't need to. Let's say deal. I get away from the monkey. He's playing around his bubble. Mine's on point. Don't want to be there. Yeah, there's really not that many targets for you to focus on here. This is kind of like the hard part. Because the thing is, you're trying to deal with the hamster, the monkey, and also the Brig on point. Or the Brig on the right side, right? At this time, right now, I'll say just try to keep the Brig away from the team. That would be your best bet. Because you can't get on the point because of the mines, and there's a monkey there, and there's a Pharaoh spamming into it. Right? There's really nothing you can do, but you can try to save your Diva and kind of deal with the Brig here. Right? Just stick on her. Just try to stick on her. You can't really do anything against the Pharaoh because the Pharaoh's too high, right? She's too far away. Don't try to waste your time on the Pharaoh, especially if she's that far in the air. And like, not only that, you will be able to keep eyes on the Brig, and you know when the Brig is coming around to do the shoot bash, right? So if the Pharaoh's in the air, don't worry about her. If because she's not, you can't touch her. You can't really get to her. She's just gonna be floating away, way onto the point or off the point, and you can't really kill her. So unless you have high ground and you double blink into her face and you kill her, that's like the only way. But you don't have high ground. You know what I mean? Feels bad. It's not a C9. Not considered a C9, but I feel like it's like... Lucio was on point. What the heck? Wait, what? Wait, where did your Lucio go? Okay, so before any of this, before we talk about where the Lucio is, I feel like the #1 person that should always try to contest the point is Tracer. So even if anybody says they got it, always try to contest the point as Tracer, because even if somebody says that they have it, there's a chance that they can get stuck. They can get stunned, they can get trapped, something can stop them from getting out to the point. But as Tracer, you're like the only one that can actually get to the point without anything really stopping you. You can just blink, touch it, and then recall and get out, and make it over time. As Tracer, you have the #1 priority of getting to the point over everybody else. It's kind of your job, I feel like. So, and even if people say they got it, just try to see if you can touch it, just in case anything happens. Because a lot of the time, people, will say that they can touch the point, and then something happens, and like, oh, I can't touch it anymore. And then you're like, well, now we lost the point. We don't have it because I could have just touched it. All right, so always try to focus on touching the point as much as possible as Tracer, especially for overtime. But let's see where this Lucio went. See a Lucio. There's a Lucio there. I think that's kind of why you assumed that he was going to touch it, but I don't know where he went. He went outside. Oh, yeah, see? Yeah, see? He was touching it. He was about to touch. He was about to touch. But the Pharaoh used her grenade right there. That's such a good play. Such a good play by the Pharaoh. Super smart, right? So he was about to get on. Boop, concuss him. And after that, it booped the Lucio off to the side. And he was about to touch, but he can't touch anymore because he got booped. But you have 2 blinks. You can just blink onto the point and contest, right? So even this is the very, very last split-second thing happening, right? You can stop this from happening just by touching the point and being safe. As Tracer, always touch it. Always. Doesn't matter if somebody's close. It doesn't matter if somebody says they got it. Just try to touch it as much as possible. Don't leave it up to your team to touch the point a lot of times, especially as Tracer. Right? Because you are in control. You can, like, if you are not playing Tracer and somebody on your team is playing Tracer and your Tracer can say, hey, I got it. Trust me, I can touch the point. That's fine, right? Because the Tracer should be able to touch it without any problem because she can travel the most distance and also she can get in and out the safest, right? But if you're talking, if like a McCree says, oh, I'll touch the point, it's like, well, dude, you're slow, for one. You can get stunned and you can just die, right? So I would say put more trust if you are not playing Tracer, put more trust in the Tracer to touch and group up as a team. But if you are Tracer, you have the sole job. You should be the one to always try to take the initiative to touch the point. Don't let anybody else try to touch it for you, because most of the time, stuff like that's gonna happen. You know, like whenever people tell me, you know, every time I'm Tracer, I'm like, I can touch the point, don't worry about it, right? That's what you should be saying. You should be the one saying, I'm going to touch the point, and then everybody else can regroup for one last push and then push together as 5, or you as 6 because you'll be on the point, right? But if you're playing somebody else, right? If you're playing Lucio, if you're playing McCree, leave that trust into your Tracer to touch the point. That's what I think. But unfortunate. I feel like your team was kind of, it wasn't that bad of a game, to be honest. You did lose somebody halfway through the game, which is unfortunate. And there's really not much you could do against that. But I feel like there's a lot of like, not only is it's like a lot of the 1v1s that you could have done. Your 1v1 and your aiming is actually pretty good. You know, your tracking is really good, and your management for your positioning of your blinking, and like blinking in, baiting things, baiting flashes, baiting bashes, that's really good. I think you are really good at your 1v1s. But I think one of the biggest things that you need to work on is watching for your health as well as target prioritization, because a lot of the times you're really low on health and you can get one shot. But it didn't really happen to you, right? You got kind of lucky because of the fact that the enemy team didn't really hit you where you could have died, right? So watch your life, try to calculate and figure out how much life you need to go against specific heroes, right? If you're going against a Hanzo, he does 120 damage on body shot, and a McCree does 140 damage headshot. So if you're below any of those, try not to engage them, you know what I mean? So try to figure out your 1v1s and how much life you have. Not only that, whenever there's a Mercy, try to make her fly into you as much as possible, but if she's always in the air with the Pharah, try to focus on the target instead. I feel like those are the biggest things that I feel like would benefit you the most, because Mercy is going to be coming back, I feel like, because then she got, I mean, coming back slowly. She did get a rebuff, right? She got the nerf reverted, and so people are going to be playing her a little bit more. So try to focus on dealing with Mercy as much as possible, or try to deal with them better, I would say. Try not to jump as much. You know, don't jump a lot because it kind of ruins your aim a little bit, especially if you're going against a target that's really, really close, or against a target that's really, really fast, like Hamston, right? Try not to jump too much, especially against projectile, and yeah, especially against a Widowmaker too. Widowmaker, she can actually kill you really easily if you jump as well. So try not to jump too much. Don't jump unless you have to, which is basically going against a McCree when he has flash. That's pretty much one of the only times that I would feel like jumping is really useful. I would rather crouch 80 spam instead of jumping. Jumping isn't really good at dodging very much. The only time I'll say is against the McCree's flash. But yeah, overall a pretty good game. A lot of things to talk about in this one, even though it was only 11 minutes. Fast game, but a lot of things that I could have talked about. But yeah, thank you so much, Taiwan, for submitting your own gameplay. I appreciate it, and I give him a round of applause. Very, very brave. Again, as usual, you know, I always tear people apart. I always say about every little itty bitty thing. And but yeah, hopefully this will help you out. I'll email this to you, and I'll put it up as well. But yeah, thank you. Give them a round of applause. I appreciate it. If you guys want to send your own gameplay, you guys can submit it to dibzgaming@hotmail.com. You can either give me a YouTube link, you could give me a Twitch link. If you give me those links, it would allow me to kind of use a visor so I can like draw on at the same time. But if you want, you can give me the MP4 as well. If you give me a direct MP4, that'd be really good because it also has better quality, you know. So, but yeah, anyways, yeah, submit it to dibzgaming@hotmail.com. If you guys want, you guys can submit it with cookies as well. I have a point system on my stream, twitch.tv/DIBZ. I changed my tag. But if I have a point system, if you guys have 10,000 cookies and you submit it, I will prioritize those over those who don't submit it with it. But yeah, anyways, just want to say thanks for watching, guys. It was a good game. It was a good match to watch. And I'll see you guys next time. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.